Hey, you want to see something really scary?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Welcome to Fright Night.
Welcome back to Jump Scare. I'm Betty.
And I'm Shad.
This week we're discussing Mind, Body, Spirit.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Anya. Welcome to Mind, Body, Spirit. That's definitely a door. My grandmother gave me this house. She passed away about a year ago. Hello? I never realized how much of her was still here. For my Anya. I don't know how far I'll have to go to start living my truth, but discovery is all about taking risks.
Your grandmother. She wasn't the woman you think she was.
Are you sure? You're okay? I feel fantastic. This is real. This is truth. This is my heritage, and I am living it. See? Not so scary. I already feel better.
This trailer popped up somewhere on social media. I don't know where the hell it was, but I was like, I need to see this movie. Don't ask me why. I like what I saw. It sounded intriguing. I don't know if it's because it got me with the yoga hook, because I love me some yoga.
And there's a lot of these yoga people that may or may not be demons.
Yes. And we saw another film in April that had something insane happen to someone practicing yoga. So, crazy yoga deaths, which I should not say that, but are very, very in the forefront of my mind.
Yeah. So this was directed by Alex Hennis and Matthew Miranda. This was their first feature. They also co-wrote it along with Topher Hendricks. And he also did the visual effects on it. So they got around, did quite a few. Everybody was wearing many hats in this movie. Even though no one wore a hat.
I'm trying to think. No one wore a hat. There was no hats.
There was no hats.
That's because they were all wearing them behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes they had all the hats on. Multiple hats.
I have to say that kudos to you guys for your first film. I love when a film is like one location.
Yeah.
You know you're never going to see outside unless it's one of those like amazing apartments like in like New York or something that has like a garden in the middle of the damn complex. But yeah, you're not going to see the light of day just from a window.
That's about it. Like, this is one of those ones that like they had access to a really cool house.
The house is beautiful. I need to know, does the house belong to someone in the crew or writers/directors? Was the house rented? Where was the house? I didn't stay into the last credit to see where this was actually
The
found.
credits were very short on this, so they were over a lot quicker than I thought.
I don't think they even mentioned it. It actually was very short.
Yeah, you know how most places have the little, like, a few credits where they're, like, showing scenes of things, and then it goes into the long 5-minute black credits.
Yeah.
You know, the black on white type. Nope, they skipped right over that. It was just a little bit of credits here. Which, you know, tells me, one, there just wasn't that many people involved in it.
It was like, we got 6 people in this movie involved, and here you go.
Here they are. They're all credited, and we're all going to move on with our life now. Now, this movie stars as Anya, our main character who we'll follow, is Sarah Bartholomew. She's been in a few things here and there. Most notably, she was recently in that TV series about Jesus The Chosen, where she plays Pontius Pilate's wife. Little departure from this.
A little bit. After this, it's like, I have to go get cleansed now. And
now I need to go back. Need to
clean
get
my
Jesus.
soul. Go back to
find,
Jesus.
Find Jesus after this movie.
Yeah. You know, you got to find a check because you need to pay rent.
Yeah, that's true.
So you just get any role. All the roles. Who else is in the film is the mother, Lenka. The actress is Anna Carnegie.
And there's not a lot of people in this, so the other main character that we're going to run into quite a bit is her friend Kinsey, who's played by Maddie Breedy.
Maddie Breedy. You know, Maddie Breedy, she, like anyone in her age range, definitely has seen a lot of YouTube videos with women working out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because, and also, you know, credits to whoever did the ads for this. They were spot on. Like, the fucking ads, I felt like I was literally watching like a YouTube or any kind of one of those.
I'll take your word for that. I don't watch a lot of the yoga videos, but
no, just in general. Well, yes, and in fitness videos, like spot on.
I did like the one about the guy with the magic tea that he was drinking. It was like that one. I have seen ads like that where it's like the magical, mystical herbal tea that just solves all your problems.
Yes, well, we'll get into that in a second. The film goes. First of all, the film does not. It's a found footage film. Let's just start there. So if you're not a found footage person, oh well, you're gonna be one after this film. No, this film, unlike other found footage films, that was gonna be like. There's a lot of F's in that sentence. Goes right into like. There's a laptop on a table and it just clicks on to the first video on Mind, Body, Spirit, which is Anya's channel that she's trying to create, a yoga channel. And
yeah, I was kind of waiting if we were going to see who actually did that. Most of the found footage movies, very few of them ever show you who finds the footage.
Yeah. I guess we don't find the footage. The footage is there. The ghost just, like, one of the whatever who's around spirits, I guess, like, clicks it. But
or it could have been maybe her mom comes and finds the footage. Who knows?
I don't know. I took it was like the spirit did it, or maybe she did it. We just didn't see her hand doing it. But the whole thing is like, we're the movie doesn't make any mistakes that we're the audience, just like how we're the audience probably, you know, a lot of our time throughout our normal day, because we're always watching something. We're watching something on some kind of platform. And that's what I liked about it. I like the authenticity of it. The feeling of it, like how we got there, like, oh, you know, I just found a VHS on the floor. Let me pop it in. Like that, yeah, fine, obviously that can happen and that has happened. But this just seemed more like on trend, like what is happening now in everyone's everyday life. Yeah. And then with modern found footage. So I would say it's found footage because obviously we stumbled upon this channel, but not that like someone physically found it.
Yeah, it's more of a digital found footage.
Yeah, which is pretty refreshing because some of these found footage films do not pay off. I mean, I don't like how they begin. They don't have good, a good wraparound.
I think one of my favorites of all the found footage movies was that As Above, So Below, because one, I think it might be, spoiler alert for this movie, if you haven't seen it, skip ahead a little bit. It might be the only found footage movie I've seen where people actually survive at the end, and you can get like, oh, this is where the footage came from. They actually brought it back with them. There were some survivors. Most of the found footage movies, it's just they all die at the end, and then the videotape is discovered later, or the discs or whatever. But this one, like, people actually made it out of the situation alive. So I'm like, oh, there were some survivors. That's how the tapes of everything came back and, were being shown. Cool. More of them should take that into consideration. You don't have to kill off the entire cast every found footage movie.
Yeah.
Just because they did it in Blair Witch doesn't mean you have to do it. You can have a survivor every now and then. Somebody can bring that footage back to the rest of the world.
Well, Anya inherits a dope-ass fucking house from her late estranged grandmother, Russian grandmother. And she moves in immediately, leaves her life behind, and moves into this house to start anew. You don't really get until probably way into the movie why she needed to start anew, but she's trying to find some purpose in her life. And
like many people that are starting YouTube channels, she's trying to find herself.
She's trying to find herself.
She's trying to find herself through starting up channels about things that she doesn't really know a lot about. That was part of it that I liked, was that she's starting a yoga YouTube channel, and she really doesn't know how to do yoga all that well.
No, she doesn't know how to do yoga. That also, later on, she brings in another character into the film who's Kenzie, who has an amazing fitness channel. One that you would see on, YouTube right now. Just whatever is your famous YouTube channel of, a woman working out. The edits were amazing. Like, the bullshit of it all was fantastic. Like, oh man, I was just eating up these ads. The ads were actually my favorite part.
I love when she's working out. When she comes over and she's helping her, she's helping Anya. And they're both using, like, these weights. And you can tell that Anya, the kettlebells, that Anya can barely lift the kettlebell up. And Kenzie's just throwing it around like it's nothing, because she does these videos every day. She works out every day. And while, like, Anya is not out of shape looking or fat or anything like that, you can tell that she is just not in the same kind of shape. She got
lazy body.
Yeah, she's got just a regular body. She's not trying. She hasn't hit the fitness ball every day. She's not running laps, and
she doesn't have body strength.
Yeah,
that's what it is. She's fit, but she just doesn't have body strength. Well, she's not. She's fine.
Yeah.
But she goes off on Kenzie at one part in the movie. And the reason why I'm bringing this a little early is because she tells her that she's culturally appropriating.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, Anya's culturally appropriating.
Yeah.
So she's accusing someone of something that she herself is doing because she knows nothing about yoga. She doesn't even know like how to pronounce the yoga poses, which I was just like, girl, you don't know how to do that? Because when you look at the trailer, you don't get the sense of that yet, obviously. It's just like, oh, a girl's film herself doing yoga, trying to create a channel, and then, insanity ensues later. So you don't get that right off the bat. So when I was watching it and she went right into it and she couldn't pronounce the thing and she was just saying it incorrectly, it was like, oh, shake my head. No, this is not good. She don't know what she's talking about. So yeah, because that's like a way of life, and there is an art to it. It's not.
Well, it would be like me going and saying, hi, I'm Shad. I'm going to start my home improvement channel. I've got a drill here that I don't even know how to use. And just trying to give advice on how to do home improvement when I had absolutely no idea. Every carpenter or repair guy would be watching that video going, this fucking idiot. I hate these people. They come on here and give people bad advice, bad ideas, and, terrible things. They're not really, he doesn't know what he's doing. They'd be super mad. So yeah, I can see where that would be. If you were really into yoga and you had your own channel, you would watch this one and be like, oh God, come on, another one of these posers.
Yeah.
You would not be thrilled about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a little more than that, because it's like yoga's more than just an exercise. It's like, it is part of someone's culture.
Well, it's like when we listen to the podcast about people talking about horror movies and they say something like, yeah, I didn't watch this, but I heard. Shut up. I have nothing else to say at this point.
So, yeah, Anya's she's a hot mess. And you know, you don't know exactly what she's going through, but man, she's just every little thing. And the reason why I love a beautiful, grand, home. It's, those old Victorian homes, those just old houses.
I would like to have seen the outside of this one, but we never did.
The one thing that I do not like about the home is all the creaky fucking shit that happens. Because, the pipes are moving, the floors are creaking. No. I would be jumping. Yes, I've seen thousands of horror movies in my lifetime. I would still be jumping like all over the place, over the fucking first creak. I'd be out the door in my car driving away.
Well, like all those old homes, there's all these like rooms that are shut off. There's an attic that's hidden away. There's rooms hidden within the attic. What I'm going to call the creepy red hallway of death, even though nothing really seemed to happen in it. But there's like one hallway near the room where she's doing her yoga, where there's like a red shade that hangs down over the door, and just the light coming through there makes the whole hallway look like it's bathed in blood. It's very creepy. I kept waiting for something horrifying to happen in that hallway.
There's a lot of like psych out jump scares, which I do like, because I don't want, even though that's the name of our podcast, I don't want to see 5,000 jump scares in a movie. So the fake outs, and there weren't a lot of them, but it had its moments. There are some of those, so keep on your toes.
I actually enjoy the fake out jump scares better, like where you see the cat and you think it's going to jump and it just walks by casually and no one gets scared. I love that kind of stuff.
There were some Carpenter-esque jump scares with the first right off the bat, one of the first scenes of her, you see the grandma, kind of like when Michael Myers comes up with Laurie in the hallway,
slowly kind of appearing.
Yeah, but all you see is like the white face. That kind of lighting that happens with the grandma, because you even had to like point it out. You're like, oh, did you see that? Because it was so like fast, but eerie. It was just like there was nothing there, and then just slowly appear. There she was, and it was crazy. So the grandmother, who has a very amazing name, Varasha, left her this house, and you get the sense that there's something weird going on, like between her mom, Lenka, Anya's mom, and the grandma. They were also estranged, and that's the one thing I do not care for in the film. You don't really get why. You also don't get why this is happening. What is the purpose for Varusha? What's Varusha's purpose? That I did not like. I also did not care for the end. Even though
I'm going to assume that at some point the mom knew that Varusha was into some bad magic.
If she did, then why would she let her fucking daughter go all the way over there? Yes, I know you told me she was of age. But, give your daughter a heads up, though. Your grandma was an evil witch. And I don't mean, she was a bitch. I mean, she practiced the dark arts, even though real witches do not practice the dark arts.
She probably assumed grandma's dead. She probably didn't think, she can come back from the dead. She probably assumed, she was evil while she was alive, but she's dead now, so...
She fucking dropped the ball on that. She should have known that the evil was going to carry on after death, and she was going to become stronger. Did she not see Star Wars? Did she not see any of those films? Because I feel like the Jedi got more powerful after they died. It was like, why are they even alive?
Well, they did, but then they didn't do anything when they became more powerful. They said, I'll be more powerful than you can imagine. And then I didn't do shit for the next 2 movies except just walk around. He was even such a lazy-ass Force ghost. He sat on a log at one point while he was talking to him. You're a ghost. Why are you tired? It's not like you've been working your muscles all day, Ghost Kenobi. Get off the damn log. You
know what? They were always traveling. When did you see these people sit in the movie? Barely. They were always walking around. So let the motherfucker sit. Damn, he was tired.
Was he tired from his life? Is he still recovering?
Yes.
He is dead. He's a ghost. He's supposed to be more powerful than you could imagine. You're telling me you're more powerful than you could imagine, but you still got winded after you walked through Dagobah for 2 minutes? You got to sit on the stump and rest? Whoo! Let me rest my ghostly bones.
So Anya finds her grandma's journal in the attic that was wrapped in like some fabric hanging on a beam, okay? You don't even see this. This is out of frame. But she pulls on like a rickety cord, and the cord just like the book just plops onto the fucking dusty ass floor. And you know what I also love? I love when the horror movies just do what you know they're gonna do. So, and I mean this in the kindest way. So the Caucasian woman, the young Caucasian woman, is like, "Oh, I hear a sound. Let me go investigate." She goes to investigate. Oh, no, here's an attic. Cool. What? There's writing on the floor, and there's 100 loaves of bread with candles in them.
Yeah.
And there's weird atrophies or whatever it's called, like effigies and shit all over the walls. I must investigate. No, bitch, don't investigate. Go have some Kool-Aid or downstairs or some lemonade and go back to the fucking yoga, or maybe do some research on the culture that you're trying to appropriate so you can be well informed.
And then when you find the creepy book that says, "For you, Anya," it looks like they got it at the secondhand Necronomicon store.
Yes, it looks like that Leatherface made this book, because the pages look like skin, and it's also dusty and raggedy and old and tattered. No, do not, okay? And she's like, oh. Also, I hated how dumb Anya was. Man, she was a bag of rocks.
Yeah, this is the perfect example of where they're like in Cabin in the Woods, when they're like in the basement and they're finding all the shit, and they're all like waiting for him to pick it up and see which one is going to cause the end of the world, you know, to come after him. This is like this. She's just like, oh, I guess I'll just start making these drinks and potions that are in the back of these things, and I'll just start this ritual, and let's start off with the cleansing or whatever. Let me just make up this stuff and swallow it. I'm sure it's fine.
No. It's not fine. It's
especially not when you make it out of the ingredients that you found in the dusty box in the attic. That could be cyanide, arsenic, topped off with some vanilla sprinkles, for all you know. It'd be one thing if it was a list of ingredients and she went to the store and bought them fresh and made it and thought, oh, okay, that's somewhat reasonable. You went down to, the farmer's market, bought up some vegetables and some thyme or whatever and put it in there.
She was going to grow to be granola mom, like, if she would have had children, like, to the max, because she was like, what? Some herbs in a bottle? Nope, I'm going to put that in my shake. She had no second thoughts. She was just like, herbs in a bottle.
The bottles were so dusty and disgusting looking. I'm like, no, don't eat.
No expiration dates. No, I mean, you could put some herbs in a bottle, write expiration date. You can do a lot of things. Nothing. Not even in a mason jar. They were just in like some Dollar Tree looking bottles.
Stoppered up, like very old, and just like, oh, there's no writing on the bottle, but there is a creepy symbol.
Hidden behind some burlap that had like the person sitting in like crisscross applesauce and like meditation stance with a hole for the third eye, with a burn mark in the middle of the forehead. There was no, you don't use the herbs that are just positioned in a Walmart bookcase behind this damn burlap thing. This is what you don't do, but this is what Anya did. And I don't feel sorry for her. I do in a sense, because you may or may not know, and when I say you may or may not know, if you didn't see where this was going, obviously she's repossessed. She gets possessed. Not repossessed, she gets possessed.
I feel like one of the things that would have benefited this movie would have been if the marketing campaign wasn't just, hey, it's a found footage version of Hereditary. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you kind of spoiled what this is about then, right there on the trailer. Maybe we could leave that off, which I know they're trying to sell it. The people are like, oh, well, that's something I definitely want to see. But maybe just step back on that just a little bit. I didn't appreciate that.
I did not like that at all. I saw, but I did not. I agree. I did not. That did not draw me in because I could care less about that other movie. But I just wanted to see the movie just based on the trailer, not because it said anything about that. I just overlooked that completely because I was like, I don't care about that. It's found footage. It's a chick doing yoga, and she's moving into a creepy house. So I'm there. You know, I want to see where this is gonna go. I feel like I enjoyed the film. For the most part, there were parts that irked me. You know, do I feel bad for her? The thing with her is that she didn't even have an identity going in, and that was the problem.
Yeah.
For her, she was trying to find herself. She was, in a sense, kind of like an empty vessel. I feel like she was just, I don't know what age she was because they didn't really mention that. This is how I took it. I just graduated high school. I maybe went to college. That didn't work out for me my first semester. I had to move back home. I'm really sad about where my life is going, and I don't know what's going to happen to me. So now my grandma dead, and I got a house, so I'm going to move over there. Like,
yeah.
That's what, she just seems so young, like, in her thought, and also how she viewed the world. It was very, optimistic. She didn't have, to some degree, negativity in a sense, or that she would think, oh, this is not a book about,
evil,
cleansing yourself, or a book
this
about
is a book of evil things that I should probably pay more attention to. You know?
That's what the book ended up being. It wasn't what she thought, because she maintained positivity and she wanted so badly to connect. Which is sad that she didn't have the relationship with her mom.
Yeah, she was estranged from her mom. So, like, since the grandma left her the house, she immediately kind of felt like, oh, man, the grandma I never really met, cares about me enough to leave me this house. I want to get closer to her. So I'm going to do these rituals she left behind in this book, because I'm sure grandma's not an evil witch just trying to take over my body.
The other thing that irked me was that she never checked her footage. Every day... And that's another thing. So she was trying to do this yoga thing with these videos. And even if it ended up not that she wasn't really going to be doing yoga, it went in another direction as she said it was going to be. It was more of a self-actualization or just finding herself kind of thing. You would think she would look back on the videos. Don't a bitch edit? I mean, damn, how are you going to start a channel and you don't go back and watch the video? That bothered me. She just went on every day, but she was never serious about it because she was just a little lamb walking around. She needed someone to...
She kind of went from one thing to the other.
Yeah, she was just all over the place.
She dropped the yoga real quick when she started getting into the book and was like, oh, we'll make it all about the book now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the ads.
Yeah, the crazy ads. So
the crazy ad, the tea ad, which when they showed Kenzie, I thought, oh, okay, this is just, an ad from the channel.
Yeah, that she's just running for someone else.
Yeah. Or whatever, like commercials come in, because, now they have commercials and every damn streaming service has a commercial now. So here you're watching this, and I'm like, okay, I didn't think Kenzie was actually going to be coming into the storyline, but the mom was friends with Kenzie's mom, and when the mothers are friends, they have to have the daughters be friends too, or be like, oh, but just please check on so and so. So she came over and she was trying to help Anya build her page and trying to give her tips and direction on how to go about and how to have a successful page. But they butted heads, and they were completely two different people.
Yeah.
Also, maybe Anya felt some kind of way because even though Kenzie was pretty much fake because she was putting the face of the influencer out there, she still knew who she was in a sense. Like, you got a sense like, okay, this bitch, she cray, she knows what's going on. Like, this is who she is. But Anya didn't. So I think it was one of those, like, she definitely was jealous.
Yeah.
Of her. And man, that jealousy just became rampant with evil.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
To get killed by a kettleball, damn.
Oh, you should probably put a spoiler warning on that one.
Well, spoiler alert. We kind of been talking about the whole movie the whole time. So didn't we say spoiler earlier?
I don't think so. I spoiled something else. I said spoiler about something else, but we'll put a label on the thing.
This is full of spoilers. How can it not be?
You kind of knew that, like, there's only 2 people in the movie. One of them was going to have to go.
Somebody got to die.
Yeah, and it wasn't going to be the main one, so at least not. Well, I guess it could have been, but that would have been a little bit of a twist.
The camera also, like, going around in circles. I was like, she need a refund on that camera because there's obviously something wrong with it. But alas, it was the ghost
gyro that they're mounted on there. But she definitely needed to be. Like I said, a lot of this movie would have been just fixed if you had just looked at the footage. But that's what I say about so many of those, like, reality TV shows. I've seen clips from them where I'm like, so-and-so will be like, oh, I never said that. And, like, show them the footage. But they never seem to do that. So I don't know what the deal with that is.
No, they don't show them the footage because they want the drama. You show them the footage, the drama may or may not be over. I'm going to tell you that when they do show the footage, the person is like, I don't remember saying that, even though you just saw yourself say that. Or they were like, oh, I'm drunk. I was drunk. And they never, barely ever take the responsibility of their
I used
actions.
to love that when they would catch those people on the hidden camera shows like that, where they would be like, they had a camera mounted under the car in one of them I saw. The mechanic went under there and he was just reading the book for like 45 minutes. And then he came out and was like, yeah, your transmission's shot. Like, he never even touched the transmission. He charged them money that he didn't even do. And they were like, this is you under the car reading the book. And he's like, no, that's not me. Well, who else would be under the car wearing your shirt with your name tag on it, reading that book, looking just like you? And he's like, I don't know, someone else.
It was Pennywise.
Yeah. Pennywise Jones. He comes around and sabotages cars sometimes. But yeah, you're right, though. People would never take responsibility for it.
No, they don't. But you know what? If she had watched the footage, then we wouldn't have a movie.
Yeah, the movie would be over.
The movie would be over. Because I feel like she would have left, but maybe she wouldn't have left. Maybe she wouldn't. Maybe she would have tried to connect with Verusha even further and, try to get her. Obviously, she had her attention, but, what was Verusha's endgame? That's what I need to know. Did she just want to come back to life? Like, I mean, obviously, you're dead. You don't want to die. If you have a way to come back, which I guess I'm trying to remember all the different, because coincidentally, the whole ritual in the book were various yoga poses and various things that you would do if you were doing some kind of like detox. You go to the retreat and they have you, drink the freaking kale, nasty ass juice. Put holy strings in your throat, and there's all different kinds of like things, that people do, and in that whole like world of like detoxing and rejuvenating your spirit kind of thing. So it wasn't that far off. My favorite thing was, do you remember as a kid you would get either like the invisible pen or like the piece of paper was invisible, the pen would like write and it would trace,
and then you use something else to like wipe across it to make the writing appear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what happened to this book.
Yeah.
Yeah. At one point she's like, what? I have unlocked it. There's all these symbols in the corner, and she goes back to the crazy Walmart dusty ass potion bookcase and pulls some freaking bottle out of there, and she starts cleaning the pages like over the images, and it shows you, oh, dun dun dun, these are actually evil
Yeah.
Like an evil ritual that you're doing, and now you're possessed. Like,
and I feel like at that point she should have just stopped and ran out of the house, but she did not.
You know, maybe subconsciously she just wanted to be a part of something, and she didn't even have a care, because another spoiler, she attempted suicide, which is why she was so lost and why she just left her whole life behind. We don't ever find out what the reason behind was the suicide, or maybe she was just depressed. We don't know. There could be various reasons why it went down that avenue, but we just really don't know. But maybe she just subconsciously, she's like, you know what? I'm not going to even fight it, because at least my body will have a purpose, or at least someone can do something, with this body.
Maybe that's what she thought. Who knows?
Who knows? Because I don't feel like she really gave it that much of a fight. But when you have, like, a little bit, when you mini zest,
Yeah.
then that's it. There's no hope for you, because a little bit seeped in. So now they're going to be over to overtake you, especially if you're not strong inside,
Yeah.
Mind, body, and spirit.
Hey,
Wink. The ad for the tea that you mentioned earlier, the story is amazing. It's like, I forgot the guy's name. We're just going to call him Evan. Evan worked on Wall Street and he left it all behind. Like, it's just fucking classic.
Yeah, it's like one of those classic commercials you see that takes itself way too seriously.
Yeah, and then I felt like there was going to be a part where he was just going to be like, I don't know, like Fabio, like the hair was going to be flowing in the wind.
And he's going to pop out and have something to say to her.
No, not her. I'm just saying, like, in the commercial, something crazy. But I did think, is he going to come out? Like, is this another character who's going to be introduced? Because we never see another ad. And it's only those two ads.
Yeah, the ones for Kenzie that she does, and then the one
for there's like 2 or 3 Kenzie ads, and then one for the tea. So we don't really.
So I thought maybe he might be showing up in the story at some point, like to interact with Anya and Kenzie.
Maybe he was gonna be the cable guy,
or he was just gonna be one of their friends that showed up.
So so did you have a part that you
I already talked about it?
Liked or disliked? I should ask.
Oh. Well, it's the typical horror movie thing of her just doing the dumbest things imaginable. But you kind of expect that in the horror movies, or you wouldn't have a movie.
That's true. They got to get into some kind of fucking shenanigans. Well, my rating for this film, I'm going to give it 2.5 knives.
Yeah, it's a good solid 2.5 knifer. I agree. It's good. There's some, they make some very questionable decisions in it, but it's fun. It's entertaining.
It is entertaining. We actually rented the film. I don't think I've rented a film in a really long time. It's either like theater or it's already streaming.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, we actually rented this one, which is kind of a different, even though, it's the same way you watch it, but it's just kind of funny that we haven't done that in so long. That used to be the norm, just going to the store and renting the movies.
Those were the freaking good old days. On a Friday night, you're like, man, what we're going to do? Let's go to the store, video store, and rent some movies, and you would just rent a fucking stack or whatever you had, It was like $2 a piece.
I remember at the video store I worked at in the 90s, we used to play, there were certain things we'd play on Friday and Saturday night. One of them was, I don't know if you ever saw it, the Into the Mind's Eye. It was a computer animation tape that was very popular with people that were high on Friday and Saturday nights. We had a giant monitor set up. It was like 16 monitors, like 4 stacks of 4, and the way it would run it was sometimes they would be individual screens, sometimes it would make the picture, it would spread it across the whole, all 16 monitors.
That's cool.
Yeah. So they would have that going, and we'd run that Into the Mind's Eye, where it's all these like computer generated images of random stuff, and knights fighting and like CGI and different things, and flying through space, like the level of animation is about like Lawnmower Man type stuff.
Okay.
So it's like
really bad.
yeah, bad. But at the time they thought it was cool. Like put that on.
Oh yeah, because
everyone
you've never
would
fucking seen anything like that.
Yeah, put that on and just watch all the people that were high. You're like, yeah, where do I get that? It's right under the TVs. We keep it conveniently located for you to rent. It was a real popular one.
I love this story.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sad because I never saw it and I didn't get to rent it.
Check YouTube. It's probably there.
Well, I'm sure it's on YouTube. I'm just saying the experience of it all.
Yeah.
The record players, that came back, right, for a little bit. Records came back. I'm just dying for the video store to come back. I know it's never going to come back because there's no point.
They're cropping up in different places.
There are a lot of I know there's a huge. I know there's video stores out there, but for the most part, for us, that's not something that's anywhere around us that we can go to. Like we don't, like in Texas. There's one obviously in California. Like there might be more than one there. Various states have their like cool local like thing, but it would just be really cool to like see it become like the norm. Not like a Starbucks in every corner, but something more mom and pop as opposed to like traditional. Yeah. But I think that will be the fall of the streaming services. Because it's already becoming a fuckery with that.
Yeah, well, like everything else. You remember when they had the cable stations and it was like, hey, we're the USA Network. We've got all these we'll run wrestling, sci-fi, mystery shows, comedy shows, everything. And then they were like, oh no, we need to branch out. We need the sci-fi network. We need a horror network. We need a mystery network. We need a romantic comedy network that just shows all these things. And eventually you had so many channels that people just weren't watching them. They just watched the same channels they always had. They didn't bother to branch out to all this. And with the streaming things, it's the same thing. There's now so many free things to stream that you don't need to pay for a lot of the, most people don't pay for that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
You can get it all free. There's enough free streaming services, things you can get from the library, things you can get just on your TV. Like we watched Witching Hour the other day, just on the Samsung TV app in the Samsung TV.
Now, if in the beginning of the film, whomever clicked the Mind Body Spirit channel and went into the page, was the page, this is where I'm going to get real geeky, was the page published and or like if it's like on like Wix.com or whatever, or was it like an actual running page? Because people got murdered, or I should say a person got murdered, and there was a lot of crazy shit. So wouldn't the authorities... I'm reading way too much into it, but I'm just saying,
I feel like that page did not get published yet. That was all still waiting to be published, because that's like, if you just, like the Blair Witch Project was happening live, someone would be like, we should probably look for these guys in the woods.
Also, as I yawn, excuse me, what do you think, like, Anya was going to do? She calls her mom, ending of the film, spoiler. She calls her mom, and she's like, yeah, I'm good. I need to figure some things out. I'm coming home. Okay.
Oh, I think Anya / Varusha is very much coming home to do something bad to the mom. Like I said, I mentioned this to you. This reminded me a little bit of the Stephen King story called Grandma, where it's something very similar happens in the story. There is an older lady in the house. She's dying, and as you find out through the course of the story, she is a witch. She's been involved with some things where people that, pissed her off, bad things happened to them. She cursed them, and now she's kind of fading out, and there's just the grandson left in the house to take care of her. And in the end of that story, the grandma has moved into the grandson's body and is just waiting for the mom to come home. Damn. Because he's going to take care of her. So, yeah.
Wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoyed the film. Thank you very much. And you should check it out. It's actually free right now on Hoopla if you're, within the nation. And
just look at your local library. Just get your library card out and check it out through Hoopla.
Yeah, get your library card out. It has a lot of amazing benefits, and you can see the movie for free. It's also streaming. We got it on.
We got it on Apple.
on Apple TV. So if you have Apple TV, you can pay. It was like $6 to rent. So totally worth it.
It's worth the $6.
Worth the $6. Well, thank you so much for joining us on another episode. And stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.